y'all, it's your girl iMorph coming with another video. So today I'm excited. I have to come and talk to y'all about the Miss Universe pageant. If you did not see that tonight, yes, you missed a lot. Miss Universe for this coming year is Miss South Africa. Yes, hunty, she slayed. Okay, she's laid. Yes, if you did not see her, ma'am, she came hard and represented. And I want to talk a little bit about a few things that happened within the video from my perspective.
South Africa.
I grew up in a world where a woman who looks like me, with my kind of skin and my kind of hair, was never considered to be beautiful. And I think that it is time that that stops today. I want children to look at me and see my face, and I want them to see their faces reflected in mine. Thank you.
And finally, please welcome.
Man, she came, she represented. I have to say, I am so proud that my people are from the continents of Africa. She came and she worked it. I mean, her dress, her last evening attire for like the win, boo-boo, she was gorge. She had this gold and silver and essence of blue. Oh man, it was like ombre going into those colors, and the way that it just laid over her and draped over her physique, man, she was gorgeous. Like her silhouette was just fantastic. And she just looked so adorable. She looked like a baby doll, y'all. She was just like so pretty to me. I'm like, when I saw her before it got kind of into like the last parts where they're getting into the final, you know, just trying to see who's all in for the competition. Like I looked at her and I'm like, oh, she's so pretty. She's like really, really cute. And it's really interesting, of course, because she looks like us. First of all, she's coming from South Africa, so she is black, hunty. Yes, she got some color, baby. And this cut that she had, her hair, I promise y'all, this 2020 year that's coming around, I know that people gonna be trying to get their haircut. They are gonna be trying to get her haircut. She had this really low fade. It was like a box fade with the part right here. It is so adorable on her, and just like a little bit of texture in the top part of it, whatever that's called, the box top or whatever, but it was just so adorable on her. She just had this beautiful skin, and she was smart. She answered the questions. They were really, really well spoken, really well, carried herself very, very well. And of course, being in this type of a pageant, yes, you should, but as we know, they don't always, or they're just not the best of the best. And she just happened to be the cream of the crop this time around, and she worked it. And just looking at her competition, it was just like, I knew it. And I'm watching it with my mom. I'm like, yeah, I knew she was going to win. Like, I knew that she was going to win. So I'm like, at the very last seconds, I'm like, she got this. I know she got this. Now, this is the funny little part that I like to always look for little stuff, like key things beforehand. Just be like, I feel like God be telling me stuff sometimes to just show me little glimpses of things. So if y'all were watching it, like those few moments before they got to, you know, all the announcements for the third runner-up or whatever it's called, when the last year 2018 Miss Universe came out, it was a point where all three of the last three finalists were standing up there, and I saw this little glimpse where she was literally standing right in the middle of all three. And of course the Miss South Africa was like right behind her, and it was like as she was standing there, the camera was like, oh, this was the last year, you know. And of course she comes out because she's about to pass her crown down to the next, you know, queen. So she stands, the camera just gets her at the right spot where she's standing in front of them, but like at an angle where she's like waving. You can see like Miss South Africa like right behind her. I'm like, see, that was my confirmation. Like, I'm just thinking in my mind and saying it, but little stuff like that. Of course, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I just felt like that was just it, you know. And I just looking at it overall, I'm usually good at that kind of stuff, and I can tell like who's gonna be winning for the most part if they doing this right. And I'm just really happy about that.
Now we're down to South Africa and Puerto Rico. Only one of you can be crowned our new Miss Universe. If for any reason the winner is unable to fulfill her duties, the first runner-up will take her place. Good luck to you both. The new Miss Universe is South Africa. Take your first walk as Miss Universe 2019. Thank you all for joining us. Olivia, everybody, thank you.
So I got a couple little things that I want to talk about beyond the fact that she was definitely the best, had the best body.
Okay, Vanessa, Olivia, here we go. What are your final thoughts?
I mean, wow, what an incredible evening, Steve.
The best dress. I didn't even get to watch the whole pageant, so you know. But just getting down to that's when it gets good. When it gets down to the last, what is it, top 20, top 10 or whatever. That's when it gets down to the nitty gritty. But just actually looking into that part, like I was like, nah, my eyes are just on her. Thinking about like her competition. She didn't really have a whole lot of competition. Looking at those, like even the last final three, with her, the other two girls that were standing up there with her, like her body was banging way more than theirs. The outside perspective, like I said, not even watching the whole thing, actually getting to kind of get a little glimpse of her personality or, you know, her mind and all that good stuff that we want to know the person inside out about. She really, you could just tell she like stood out. Those other two that were up there, they were pretty, not going to say they weren't, but she just stood out among those top three. She just definitely stood out. Definitely had, hands down, the best dress. Just the best look, like the little sunburst looking earrings that she had, it was just, everything was just like, it was just right on point. South Africa, well done. So that was one thing. And then, man, did you see her walk? And it's funny because I was literally just kind of chatting with my mom as we were watching this, like her walk, like I'm making comments about the girls before it gets to the ending, and I'm just like, look at these walks. I kind of hate it when they don't have like a natural, graceful, like seductive, sultry type walk that just kind of comes natural. Like you can tell even with those other two, especially the one with the gold. I'm not quite sure on the one with the red dress that was next to her in the top three, but the one in the gold, she definitely was trying her walk a little bit too hard. I'm like, man, she's sticking her hips out way too much and she's swaying back and forth, you know, walking the runway. And I understand, you know, you want to stand out, you want to do all this stuff, but it's just a point where you forcing too much. And so that was one thing that I noticed. Now, after she won, I want to go back to this really quick. Did y'all peep Miss Nigeria? And okay, so y'all know my people, Nigeria, gotta be up for Nigeria. So I'm like, man, that's my people right there. So I gotta be excited for them too. So it comes up and I'm like, yay, Miss Nigeria. And then I'm like, now, I know she mentioned that her mom, she recently had lost her mom, or I'm wondering how recent did she lose her mom. I don't want to be real harsh about it or nothing, but she wanted to still compete. Now I can understand if it was like real recent. I understand the losses, but she wanted to still, be able to be a part of the competition, which I understand. So if you're going to be a part of the competition, be a part of the competition. I don't know if it had anything to do with that or not, because I feel like this is something that a lot of people do. Her lining, she had on a wig. You can clearly see it. It was a full lace front, and her lace front wasn't cut all the way. The mug came like down here. And so I'm looking at her, and like the first thing that I noticed, I'm like, oh, okay, she was pretty, but it was just like, bam. Like I almost wanted about people, but it was just like right there, like you could just see it, and I'm like, oh man, my people ain't representing for me, and I'm like, this ain't no Nigerian thing. This is just, ma'am, I feel like whoever your crew was around you to get you ready just didn't know what they were doing, and I wear my pieces too, and I'm still working on mine. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna front. I'm not the best at it, but to be on national television with this mug, like all right here, not blending in well, I'm just like, man, I feel so terrible about that. So that was one thing, and then it was kind of funny, like towards after the end when they announced Miss South Africa as Miss Universe. Y'all see how Miss Nigeria came around to the side? Like, I don't know if they was friends or not. Like I said, I didn't watch the whole thing. Sometimes you can tell, like, if they'll talk about if they're like close, building relationships like with some of the people that are there in the competition with them. So it was just funny how all the people, of course, when she won, they're all crowding around her like, yeah, congratulations. Although they really want that crown, but y'all like my crown. I had to represent for this for the moment. I love my birthstone sapphires. Got that on my Instagram too. For my birthday, I stole it from my daughter when I'm, using it, but it's hers. Miss Nigeria, she comes up like to her after everybody's like, hey, congratulations, and like she kind of grabs Miss South Africa's arm to kind of get her attention, like, hey, like trying to make sure she sees her, like, hey, I want to make sure I get your attention, like, we heard, like, congratulations. So I just thought that was interesting. It's one of those things where I ain't trying to hate. Everybody's there to be, there with her and congratulate, but it's just kind of funny to me that, when somebody obtain some type of success, then you have those people that it was just like a quick thing that just reminds me of life, that people want to get a little bit of that shine, be there with you, hopefully it was all good, but I just kind of noticed that, and I just thought it was really funny. So that was just my little thing on that. Moving on, the next thing I want to talk about is Steve Harvey, man. Steve Harvey, he doing the thing. They still got the little jokes, ha ha, he about the mistake that he made the other year. But that jacket he had on, come on, y'all know my favorite color is green. And it was so ornate, all the gold detailing on there. And I'm looking at the green fabric on it. It looks like it was African. I don't know, of course, anything about it, at least not so far, who made it, where it came from, but it looked African to me. So I was like, okay, Steve, I'm looking at the material. I believe it was. Somebody could tell me different about where it came from. I'm sure people will be talking about it, and I would like to know information about that green jacket that he had. To me, it was bomb. I liked it because it was like over the top. It was one of those where I don't even know if it was any in between. It's either you either love it or hate it, and I was for it because I'm team green. And when something like this, Miss Universe pageant, you want to go all out and show up and show out, and he definitely did just that. So that was really cool. And Steve Harvey, we already know he be wearing some clothes, and wearing some suits. Let me rephrase that. He loves suits. And I thought it was kind of cute. Lady was talking about like the plates of food or whatever, and this her country's costume attire that she had on towards the end, and they were like, yeah, we kind of matching. Well, she was like, we kind of matching, Steve. I thought that was real cute. So, and I agree with it. That was actually what I said before she said it, so I thought that was cute. We already know about Tyler Perry, you know, having his grand opening for his studio, although he had been using it for a couple of years now. This was actually recorded at Tyler Perry's studio down in Atlanta, Georgia. If you didn't notice that, it came up on the screen. I was like, oh, okay. So I wanted to just shout out and acknowledge that Tyler Perry's still doing a thing and got his hands a little bit everywhere. People want to come to here for his studio now. Look at that. Go ahead, Tyler. Oh, okay. Let me talk about one other girl. France, right? Okay, so maybe the top 10 or whatever. And I'm like, okay, France, Paris represent. I loved her gorgeous red hair. Okay, I just think there are a lot of different types of beauty. And that's just one where I'm just like, you got some really pretty bright red hair. And you wearing it right, rocking it right. That was really nice on her. I didn't like the little blunt straight cut that she had when she was kind of doing the little interview section, but when she had like the little wave curls, I thought that was really pretty. Her evening gown that she had on, why does she look like Miss Flapper? She coming back the 1920 Roaring 20 situation with the dress that she had on. Look at South Africa's competition. The dress, it wasn't ugly. It was just all these little fringes. Over the last year or two, people have been like, okay, fringes in. But for the Miss Universe pageant, you want like a beautiful flowy type situation. The fringes were about, I would say maybe about 9 inches long on each level. So it's, to me, for this type of occasion, it was cutting your body off. Like you couldn't really see a beautiful silhouette or beautiful shade on that level. It wasn't formal enough for me. So I was like, oh, you just knocked yourself out right there. It's just like all these little things where these little key things that makes a person get to the top, all those little just ideas, like it's going to make you or break you. And I feel like that was one that definitely was like, no ma'am, no ma'am. Look at Miss South Africa's dress. I mean, the top of it was just crazy. Like it draped, the top layer like draped almost like a shawl or something, but it was a part of the dress, as you could tell. Her back was out, yet there was still like the beadings that draped around her, and her back was out, but then underneath that layer it just like fit to her body like so well. Altered so well. So anyway, this flapper dress though, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I get it. She had the little bob, totally going Roaring 20s. I get you. I see where you're going with that. Where y'all think she going with that? I think she's going with the fact that it's almost about to be 2020. So your decision for wearing this flapper style Roaring 20s dress was, we're about to head into 2020. Maybe she was like, yes, this is my winning dress. I'm going into the 20s. No, boo. No, boo. That was a bad decision. I'm just going to have to be real and say my opinion on that. Oh, one more thing that I forgot. Miss USA. Did y'all see Miss USA?
Notes. Make sure you look over your notes beforehand. And most importantly, I usually pin my hair back so it's out of my face, but I don't think you'll have that problem.
Oh, that's the funniest thing I've heard. Girl, you better tell these jokes. You better tell these jokes. I ain't got no hair to pin out my face. You ain't got no mustache, so we even. Great answer. Thank you very much, USA.
Girl had gorgeous hair. Like, hair goes. That's my hair goal. If I could get to that, put a twist out and be like that long, oh man, I'm working on it. We're going to see what happens. But that's been my goal, to the length that she has. If I could get a twist out that long, man. You know, Miss South Africa, she just showed up and showed out. She was just like on a whole nother level. I mean, Wakanda forever. I gotta put it out there, you know. People still been on this whole kick. We waiting on Wakanda Forever 2000, the part 2. I'm still waiting on that. So I think that kind of helped. Not just the movie, you know, with Black Panther and all that, but just more people, with people of color and people non-color, embracing African influence, African essence in general. I think that it did help a little bit, maybe a lot. Even with last year, the Miss Universe, Miss America, Miss whatever, Miss something, the other year where they were all African American. They all had these like curly afro type situations. That's pretty much my take on it. Let me know what y'all think. Comment, click like, share, subscribe. But yes, Miss South Africa is doing the thing. Africa is representing Wakanda forever. Love you guys. It's I Morph. Bye, beautifuls. Love you.